Shalom. All praise is due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Wadash, double honors the elect apostle, bishops, elders at Great Millstone at Ruel. Shalom to like Akal work in sincerity and truth, and not for vainglory in season out of season. Shalom to the men, women, sons, and daughters of the elect of the nation of Israel, which are the men, women, sons, and daughters of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans scattered through the four corners of the earth. Yeah, I just want to go into this bubble dress thing where the so-called black woman is going to Disney World or whatever, Epcot Center, whatever, in Florida, and they're showing their butt cheeks because they're wearing these short bubble dresses, you know. So, there's many scriptures that go into it, about what the so-called black woman was going to do, being that she's the head of the nation of Israel, and all the other tribes of Israel follow after her, and you see the short dress that she's wearing. Okay, so, that's not supposed to be the case, so I just want to bring out a basic scripture on it. This would be 2 Timothy's, let me see. Yeah, as a matter of fact, hold up. Yeah, Salakia, this would be, 1 Timothy's, the 2nd chapter and the 9th verse. Okay. 2 Timothy's, the 2nd chapter and the 9th verse. It says, matter of fact, yeah, let me highlight it. Okay. It says, in like manner, also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now, that's not modest apparel if, the woman is walking around with the short mini skirts, the bubble dresses, and the ass cheeks are showing. That's not modest apparel. That's, that's not modest. Okay. All right. And the modest apparel, a woman's supposed to wear something below her knees. Okay. Not up to her knees, below her knees, All right. But that's what the scriptures say, and this is, this is Timothy speaking. He was a student of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai under the Apostle Paul. Well, really under Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai that the Spirit was dealing with the Apostle Paul on. Okay. He said, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. And of course, you see how the black woman, Latino and Native American woman, but mainly I'm talking about the black woman. I know the black woman gets upset because, we talk about her the most, but she's the most woman that's doing the most. She's the one that's setting the trends for all the other women of the other tribes to follow after. Okay. And modest apparel, meaning she's supposed to have her body covered. Even what's that chick name from Cosby? Even she went on a Breakfast Club, and she said men don't like their women dressing in strips of clothes. Strips of clothes. And of course, the black woman, they jumped all over her and, said she was wrong and so forth, but that's how a woman's supposed to dress, modestly. Okay. She's not supposed to be showing her butt cheeks with the bubble dresses, and the spandex showing a camel toe and, you know what I'm saying? The see-through shirts with pasties on her nipples and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to dress modestly. That's how Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai set the Israelite woman to do. I'm talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitian, and Native American women and Latino women to do. Okay? It says, with shamefacedness. In other words, you're not supposed to look a man in the eyes. You know, I mean, I know that's a foreign concept to these women here in America, you know, and I'm really going on to the so-called black woman, because she's really the head, and all the other women of the other 12 tribes of Israel follow her, so we're getting on you, so-called black woman. She's supposed to be shamefaced. She's not supposed to be staring you all in your eyes. You know what I'm saying? She's not supposed to. It says, and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold and pearls or costly array. And, black woman, she adorns herself, with all kind of things, she'll have, now back in the ancient world, women, they weave gold into their hair, and, it's all this, nowadays, it's all the makeup, that they have on, and they got, the lace fronts on and all that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not supposed to be the case, So, it's going to go back to that. That's the beautiful thing about it. Because Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to set things up how he want to set it up. And guess what? The mighty, the mighty black woman can't do shit about nothing. And you can see how desperate they are now, yo. They're super desperate. It's like, it's like the so-called black man, he ain't even talking to the black woman no more, yo. He's doing his own fucking thing. He like, man, the hell with y'all. Shit, you know what I'm saying? They're waking up to the black woman's bullshit. And it's only going to get more and more and more and more to the point. Well, let's go to it. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Y'all brothers know the scripture, yo. Isaiah 4:1. She's begging the so-called black man to fucking get dates with them and take them to expensive restaurants and spend $300, $200 on them. She's begging them to do it. But the so-called black man, he's getting the hell away from the black woman. It says, and in that day, Isaiah 4:1, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Yeah, so that's going to happen. It's going to get so bad out here during the time of Jacob's trouble that, there's going to be a famine of food, okay? The Gurkha troops is going to be in the street, carting people off the concentration camps. And the so-called black woman is going to come to the so-called black man, And hey, listen, hey, look, the scriptures say the Most High shall make a man more precious than the fine gold of Ophir or Upas. You know what I'm saying? Which was the finest gold, which was the best gold. So he's going to make a man more precious than that. So it's going to happen, and it's slowly happening now because, as you can see, the so-called black woman, whether she be from America, whether she be from Nigeria, whether she be from England, she's begging a so-called black man to fucking deal with her. And black man ain't dealing with the black woman no more. Now you have your simps out there that they're gonna, they're gonna take them out on dates, and they're gonna spend all their money, and then even them simps gonna fucking find out that this shit ain't worth it, and then them women, they don't want the simps anyway, they don't even want the simps. They just using them, so they're gonna have to come to the men of the Lord. That's eventually what's going to happen in a time of Jacob's trouble. What's the time of Jacob's trouble? When the so-called white man brings out the RFID chip, when he brings the famine of food, okay, when there's anarchy in the streets, okay, then that's when these black women they ain't gonna have no choice but to come and ask an Israelite man of the Lord. And it ain't just the black woman, it's the black, West Indian, Haitian, Latino, and Native American woman. They're all gonna do it, you know. But like I said, my whole focus is talking about the so-called black woman right now, because she's the most outspoken one of going against a man, you know. But it's all due to the curses, yo. Okay, it's all due to the curses. And in that day, which is the time of Jacob's trouble, Jacob represents Israel. You like so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Latinos, and Americans. It's going to be the time of trouble because, you know, Esau is going to cause a famine. Esau is a so-called white man, a famine of food. He's going to bring out the RFID C-hip, you know, and if you don't take it, then, you know, you're going to be in dire straits. But guess what? Being in dire straits don't mean that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is not going to save his elect. All right. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. You know, a lot of women, the black, West Indian, Haitian, Latino, Native American woman, they don't want you to have more than one woman, right? They don't. But in that day, they're not going to give a shit. Because why? They're going to be fucking starving to fucking death. They're going to be in trouble. You know? They're going to be in great troubles. So they're going to have no choice if the Most High is dealing with you and feeding you in the time of the famine. He's dealing with you to protect you from Esau. They're going to have no choice but to come and kiss your motherfucking ass. And that's exactly what you so-called black women going to do. Okay? West Indian, Haitian, Latino, Native American women. You're going to kiss the man of the Lord's ass to be saved. Okay? Point blank. All right? So I hope you've been edified. And with that, shalom.